Hello students, in this video I will be explaining you about the type of adjustment entries in final accounts that you will encounter frequently while preparing the final accounts. So first one is the closing stock or closing inventories. As the closing stock is ascertained at the end of the accounting year, because you will carry out all the production process throughout the year, and whatever is left at the end of the accounting year, that will be considered as the closing stock. So naturally the closing stock will appear as an adjustment outside the trial balance. And how it is going to be treated, I'm going to record it as closing stock in the credit side and simultaneously in the balance sheet in the asset column as closing stock. Next one is outstanding expenses. Now outstanding expenses are those that has been incurred within the accounting year but the payment has not been made. So how you are going to, it could be outstanding rent, it could be outstanding salaries, outstanding bills that you are supposed to pay. I have taken an example as the rent for the month of December 2002 rupees 1000 remain unpaid. So how I have adjusted it? In the profit and loss account, I have added the outstanding expenses to the amount of rent which is given in the trial balance, and I will get the total or exact amount of the rent. Simultaneously, I will also record it as outstanding liabilities in the liability side of the balance sheet. Only the outstanding amount, outstanding rent amount, which is 1000. Similarly, prepaid expenses will be there. Prepaid expenses are the advance amount paid and the services are not yet availed. Okay, so they are my current assets. So what I am going to do, I am going to deduct the premium or the prepaid or advance payment from that particular expenses and simultaneously record in the asset side also as current asset. So I have taken an example as the insurance premium of rupees 2400 a year was paid on 1st July 2002. So the calendar year is the accounting year. Accounting year is 1st of April to 31st of March of next year. So since the premium is paid on 1st of July, the premium for 6 months, that is half the amount of 2400, which is your 1200, is advance premium. So how I am going to do? Profit and loss account, I am going to deduct the advance premium from the total amount, that is 2400 minus 1200, and you are going to get the net insurance premium, that is for that particular accounting period. Okay, and simultaneously I will be recording it in the asset side of prepaid insurance as 1200. Then comes accrued income. Accrued income are those income that has been earned but services has already been rendered but you have not received the cash yet or received the money yet. Okay, so it could be an interest on investment that is accrued rupees 1200. So what I am going to do, I am going to, since it is my income, I am going to record it in the profit and loss account as in the credit side. I'll add with that particular interest on investment, I'll add interest accrued with it, and simultaneously I will record it in the asset side of the balance sheet as interest accrued rupees 1200. Next one is the income received in advance. Okay, in this case, now it is an liability towards you. You have already taken the money in advance. It is just like, take an example, you have taken the salary in advance. Now you will have to work for the month. That is your liability. So therefore, the advance income is your liability. Let's take an example. A business concern has received apprentice premium for 3 years amounting to rupees 6000. In this amount, rupees 2000, that is 1/3 of rupees 6000, is for the current year and should be credited to P&L loss account. as income, and the balance 4,000 is the liability, is advance income. So what I'll do, profit and loss account, my total income is by apprentice premium. As it is my income, I am going to record it in the credit side of profit and loss account with the amount 6,000. What I am going to do, I am going to deduct the advance payment that I have taken, which is 4,000, and net income of that particular year is 2,000. And simultaneously in the balance sheet also I will record it under my current liabilities. Liabilities head, since it is my advance income, I have taken the money in advance, so I need to give the services. I am yet to give the services. So since it is my liability, I will record it in the liability side with the amount 4,000. Now comes depreciation on asset, which is very common, because all our assets that we are going to use are going to depreciate sometime or the other, due to wear and tear, due to use, due to obsolescence. Okay, so this declination of the asset is a loss to our organization. Therefore, I am going to record it in the debit side of the profit and loss account. Let's take an example. A business has furniture of the value of rupees 50,000. At the end of the year, it is depreciated at 5%. So 50,000, 5% of 50,000 is 2,500. Means my depreciation amount is 2,500. Okay, so 5% on rupees 50,000 is 2,500. So this depreciation amount is going to be recorded in the debit side of the profit and loss account as depreciation of 2,500, and simultaneously I am going to record it in the balance sheet by deducting it from that particular asset. Means it was a furniture here in the example. So furniture will be 50,000 less the depreciation, that is 2,500, and I am going to get the net value of my asset, and that is 47,500. Next, the most common adjustment is of the bad debt. Now what are bad debt? Bad debts are those debtors who are irrecoverable. You cannot trace them and you cannot get your money back from those customers. You have sold your goods on credit to them and now they have run away without paying you the money. So they are the bad debts. Okay. Now as an example, the ledger balance in respect of sundry debtors of a trader shows rupees 20,000, and of these rupees 1,000 is estimated to be irrecoverable. Means 1,000 is my bad debt. Out of all these 20,000, I have lost this rupees 1,000 as bad debt. So this 1,000 as bad debt is my loss. So what I will do, I will record it in the debit side of the profit and loss account. As I have done it here, profit and loss account to the debit side as bad debt rupees 1,000. Now this loss has to be adjusted, or this loss has to be covered up. So to cover up this loss, I have created a provision for bad and doubtful debts. Now this provision for bad and doubtful debts is not an extra money to me. What I have done, from the revenue itself, what I have earned, I have kept some percentage of that money in the name of provision for bad and doubtful debts. So what it has done, it has reduced my income. It has reduced my revenue. So it's a loss to me or it's an expense to me. Therefore, again I have to record it in the debit side as reserve for doubtful debts or provision for bad and doubtful debts. Let's take the example. The sundry debtors of a trader at the close of the year stood rupees 21,000. It is estimated that rupees 1,000 is written off as bad debts and 5% provision is created for the doubtful debts. Now bad debt is how much? 1,000. So after 21,000 was my total debtors. Out of that 21,000, 1,000 was a bad debt. So how much I am left with? 20,000. So from that 20,000 I will create a 5% of provision. So 20,000, 5%, and I will create a provision for doubtful debts, and which will be 1,000 again. So this bad debt rupees 1,000 and provision for doubtful debts rupees 1,000, both are as my losses, so I will record it in the debit side of the profit and loss account. How I am going to adjust it in the balance sheet? I am going to deduct both of them from the sundry debtors. Sundry debtors was 21,000. I have deducted the bad debt of rupees 1,000 and I am left with 20,000. I have created a provision for doubtful debt as 5% of 20,000, which is 1,000 rupees. So I am now left with 19,000 as my good or sound debtors. Now after this, I can also create a provision for discount on debtors, right? It is a marketing or a promotional strategy of any organization, you can say, so that you can encourage your customers to make a prompt payment, right? So in this case also, what I am going to do, let us go to the example directly. Suppose a trader has sundry debtors amounting to rupees 20,000 and he estimates that after a provision of 5% doubtful debts, a provision for discount at 2% is desirable. So then on sound debt, means good debts that are left after deducting the bad debt, 19,000. So on 19,000, I will create a provision that is made for reserve for the discount on debtors. Okay, so I am going to again adjust it, since all of them, bad debts, provision for doubtful debts, and discount on debtors, all these are my losses. So I will be recording them in the debit side of the profit and loss account, and simultaneously I will record them in the balance sheet, adjust them with the sundry debtors by deducting them from the debtors itself. Similarly, my suppliers can also give me a discount. So creditors represents the amount owed by the business to suppliers of goods on credit. So sound business concerns make it practice to settle accounts with the creditors in time to earn goodwill of the creditors. Okay, so a trader had sundry creditors of rupees 10,000 and it is desired to make a provision of 3% on this amount for discounts. So this 10,000, 3% of 10,000 will be your 300. Now this is your income, because now you are going to pay 3,000 less to the suppliers. So since this is my income, I will record it in the profit and loss account credit side as by reserve on discount on creditors, that is 300. And simultaneously I will deduct it from the sundry creditors of the balance sheet. Okay, now interest on capital and interest on drawings. Now interest on capital is a loss to the business but an income of the owner or the proprietor. Simultaneously, interest on drawings is an income for the business, vice versa, and a loss to the owner. So profit and loss account, interest on capital is the expense for the business, so it is going to be recorded in the debit side, and interest on drawings is the income for the business, since it is going to be recorded in the credit side of profit and loss account, and it has to be adjusted from the capital in the balance sheet, as the interest on capital is added to the capital, and you will deduct the drawings and deduct the interest on drawings also. So this is how you need to do the adjustments of the final accounts. Hope the concepts are clear. If you have any doubt or any questions, you can leave it in the comment section. If you like the video, then please don't forget to share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.